You bet.
You might find it difficult to unwind from a day at work, but the stresses can be unbearable for Quad City soldiers and civilians working in Iraq. Photojournalist John Reedy and I caught up with servicemen in Baghdad who are finding peace in a pastime from the home front. It's a dry, dusty country most of the year, but even in the mud-slicked winter wet season, the last thing you might expect to find in Iraq are picturesque ponds.
Every time I go over there to the palace as well, I'm always looking over there.
Beneath the waves, camouflaged by reflection of Saddam Hussein's palatial properties, something legendary lurks. Soldiers who've served here at Baghdad's Victory Base Complex know the stories, and those lucky enough to track down a rod and reel and find a few minutes of free time are drawn to these waters by the challenge that's lured man for eons.
Well, we'll see if I can figure out the legs here around here and figure out what the fish are like.
We caught up with Logan, Utah native Captain Stephen Peterson on a pier at Z Lake. Soldiers have landed some whoppers nearby. Legend has it, Saddam stocked these ponds with illegally imported fish. They grew on a grisly diet provided by the dictator's henchmen.
Come on, let's see if we can get the tangle undone.
On this cool winter's day, the birds had better luck than the young Air Force captain. But considering the circumstances, just casting a line was a victory in itself.
Catching is kind of low right now, but fishing is great.
The hypnotic rhythm of fly fishing allows anglers to escape reality no matter where they fish. But here in Baghdad, it's a much-needed form of therapy.
I'm in my own little world right here. You know, there's everything else. You see the helicopters flying around, and you know, every once in a while you'll hear some mortars come in. But here, this is Stephen's world. This is Stephen's time.
Most of these fish are not suitable for eating, so the sport here is catch and release. Those clever enough to land what lies beneath the surface gladly accept that practice because it parallels their mission as they draw down this war.
You release it, and you let it go, and hopefully you've revived it well.
Captain Peterson, like many others, hopes that Iraqis will flourish when they're left to tread the waters of freedom after American forces leave the end of this year. Tonight on News 8 at 10, we show how a message from home was the answer to a QC man's prayers all the way over at Camp Arshan, Kuwait.
And was he able to catch anything while you were with him?
Not while we were there, but just getting a chance to unwind with him and see what it's like to be able to relax and fish. You do kind of forget where you are for a while, and then off in the distance, you either hear gunfire or you hear a helicopter go by, and you're quickly reminded of exactly where you are. And you're in the middle of Baghdad.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's nice that they